Hi guys, it's me. I'm back on your feed. Wow, that was a great intro. My name is Fatima if you are new, and I'm back with astrology videos. So today's video is going to be a part 3 for my story time of the zodiac signs. I do all 12 zodiac signs. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, I will link them in my description box below. Basically what we do here on this video is I have a, oops, I almost dropped it. I have my bucket. This is the holy bucket. Ooh, that was a lot of dust. Since I'm an Aquarius, I have this bucket. I wrote down all zodiac signs, all 12, Aries to Pisces. And what I will be doing is I'll be shaking it up. I'm going to just pick out a piece of paper, whatever zodiac sign that is on that piece of paper. I'm just going to be telling you guys a story from my experience about that zodiac sign. The only thing is I won't be saying any names. It's going to be anonymous, and the only reason I know the zodiac signs of these individuals is either because they have personally told me their zodiac sign, so like I know them really well, or social media. So let's get started. Slide this shit. Okay, are you guys ready? Because I am. I'm always ready. Oh, I'm gonna go down. I'll be right back. We got Leo up in the house. All right, so this Leo is a female. This was years ago. She was trying to keep up with everybody that she had invited over to her birthday bash, and she got a little twisted. Okay, there was way too many people. Everybody was out of their minds. Of course, as the Aquarius, I'm like sitting back trying to assess everything, trying to see like where I fit in, I guess. Here's the crazy part. One of her friends got arrested, and we said like, it's okay, like let him go. He'll probably come back later. No, she was like insistent on going to the police station and getting him back. Just trying to get the keys to the car and drive to the police station while she's drunk. Her cousin and I were trying to like stop her from driving. I literally was like fighting with her outside in the parking lot. I'm like, you cannot drive. This is not happening. This is not going down. We're not doing this. Fighting with me, and then I'm fighting with her, and then finally she gave up, so I ended up driving to the police station. Her friend ended up being fine. We picked him up, and then he came back with us. No, he stayed there overnight. And once we got back, everyone was just like sleeping in one place, and it literally felt like a lion's den, basically. I ended up going into the bathroom. I locked myself in there. I never came out until the next morning. I was like the only one in the bathroom, and no one could go to the bathroom. Sorry, if you need to go to the bathroom, just go somewhere else. Next victim. What? Alrighty. Virgo. This Virgo is a female. She's in charge of like the whole wedding process. Omar and my wedding. Omar's my fiance. He's a Sagittarius. What drew me to her was the fact that she knew what she was doing. I've met like so many vendors, you guys. I like to weigh my options. I'm like the type of person that I have to research everything before I make a decision. I don't know how Omar is patient with me, but he is. I immediately felt like she wasn't like wishy-washy. She wasn't like the type of person to be like,
oh, well, I'm making you a favor. Sorry, this is take it or leave it.
Or they'd be like,
oh, you don't know what you want? Okay, so just call us when you're ready.
No, she worked with us. She brought out lists. She brought out binders, you guys. She had dates and times and numbers. It just looked really organized. To her, it may have felt like she needed to rush through it. To us, we were just chilling, because usually it's us, like Omar and I, kind of feeling very chaotic and not knowing what decision to make and this and that. So I'm just really glad that we have a Virgo planning all this out for us. All right. Okay. Sagittarius. I'm not gonna lie, this is a little bit hard. I'm trying to think of a Sagittarius. This Sagittarius is a male, and I worked with him 5-6 years ago. Every time I walked in, I'd be like grouchy because I'm like, it's so early in the morning. I'm such an insomniac. I hate the morning. And he immediately tells me like,
put a smile on.
He'd be yelling at me to put a smile on. He made everybody smile and he was so loud. One thing I noticed about him was he had a girlfriend and he wasn't sure if like he wanted to be with her anymore, so every female that like walked into the store he'd like start flirting with them, and I would always call him out on it. I'm like, you need your freedom. If you don't want to be with her and you know you're breaking her heart and you want to see other girls, like just end it. And he wouldn't end it with her because his girlfriend was a Sagittarius, and then he was like, what do I do? And I was like, well, you need to talk to her. Like, you literally need to sit her down and talk to her. He said to her, I just want to end the relationship because I want freedom. I want to see other people. And she was totally chill. This is him like explaining it to me. And the way that he explained it to me, he was infuriated, you guys. I'm sorry, but it was so funny because I'm like, you wanted this. You're mad at her because like she was cool about it. And he's like, yeah, I do hope that he has his freedom. Go Sagittarius. Go Sagittarius. These lights are making my eyes bug a little bit. Okay. Aquarius. This Aquarius is a female. She is the whole reason that I have the job that I do now. I have like many supervisors, and especially like at this training, they were all like coming up and talking about their experience. I was like drawn to their stories and how they started and all that, but something was so special about this Aquarius. There was just something so heartwarming about her, just like her tone of voice, and there's kindness in her eyes. She wasn't afraid to show her emotions. So as she was talking about helping people and being a counselor, she really knew how to bring a room together. Everybody was listening to her. Yeah, I am so happy because I love my job, and I'm just really glad that I met her. We love sappy stories. Okay. Libra. This Libra is a male. I'm not even surprised by it, but he was able to balance his job as a gas attendant, and my father's a mechanic, so he would bring business to my father and check on him and make sure that he was okay. And just having that Libra in our life at the time was so soothing. My father has like, he smokes so much, and he's like a heavy coffee drinker, so like I always like worry about him. There's a saying in Turkish, gözün arkada kalmasın. He would always say that to my brothers and I about my father, and he'd say like, don't worry, I got his back, I'll take care of him. He would bring my dad like coffee and make sure that he was okay, because like you're under cars, they're heavy, you never know what's gonna happen. God forbid. He was such a good soul. He was always there for us. I really don't know where my dad's business would be without him. So I'm in my feels. Gemini. Okay, this Gemini is also a male. He was my prom date. I just remember there was like so much drama with like this prom stuff, only because I didn't want to go to prom. I don't know. I was like, I don't want to go to prom. Gemini asked me to go to prom, and he was a friend of mine, so he knew I changed my mind, and he was actually the first person to ask me before those other two guys, so I'm sorry, just keep up with me here. Gemini asked me first when I didn't want to go, and then those two other guys asked me after that, and then I changed my mind. So then I went back to the first person that asked me. There you go. The two guys that had asked me were really mad at me. I didn't even want to deal with it because I'm not going to explain myself. I felt really bad because my dress was so long and I didn't have time to get it hemmed. I still feel guilty to this day that I ruined like his prom experience because I didn't dance. I ignored him. But I didn't mean to ignore him. I was just so stressed about my dress. Good times. Okay, we got a couple more in here. Capricorn. This Capricorn is a female. She's also somebody that I work with. Let me just say, she always comes into work put together, dressed up, her hair done. She gets her hair done like every week. And she's very open about it. A lot of people will shy away from her because they feel like she's a little bit cocky, but she's not. She's not cocky at all. She just knows how to run the place, you know? So I always look up to her and I'm like, okay, maybe I should get ready and go to work and look presentable. I think in a way she does motivate me. She's like, hey everybody, like I'm here. And you just see everyone go, oh my God. And she walks right up to me, like sits down like this.
How are you, Fatima? How's it going?
Sips her coffee. She's like,
Oh wait, I gotta get back to work. I'll see you later.
and then she'll like glide back to her office. Okay. Hold on. Don't be doing this to me, Taurus. Taurus. I have no idea why I remember this, but I do. My first Twitter follower for Girls of Aqua was a Taurus, and he found me because of my hashtags. He was proud. He was like, I'm a Taurus, okay? He was trying to fight with me, and at first I was like, why did I even make this Twitter account? So he was my first follower, and then he unfollowed me because I was interacting with him and standing up for my sign. I was a little bit more obsessed with my sign back then, hence Girls of Aqua, but then I grew out of it. Anyways, it was because of that person, that Taurus, I was like thinking to myself, you know what? This is what I'm supposed to do. This one, this Taurus gave me something to think about, and I'm gonna fight for what I believe in. I was like, I'm going to explain Aquarius because I'm tired of explaining myself, and I'm going to help other Aquarius out there. Aries. This Aries is a female. She's the one that helped me and Omar get together. Hopefully one day I'll have you guys meet Omar in a YouTube video soon. I don't know when, and we'll explain to you guys like how we met and all that. But the helper in this situation was an Aries. Can you believe that? Okay. The way that I've seen this sign operate, they tend to love putting people together, like matchmaking. Just a little bit. If you agree with me, let me know. It's like their thing, and they're pretty good at it. So I've been friends with this Aries for ever. Like I've known her and her family for a long time. She messaged me. She was like really comfortable. She asked me if like I was single and all that, and I was like, yeah, I'm single. She's like, are you looking for anybody? I was like, nope. And I told her that I was focused on myself, like I was focused on work and school, so I didn't really have time for a relationship. And she ignored that, and then she said, well, I have somebody in mind for you and they're really interested, Omar. So I gave her my number to give to him, and I said, if he really wants a relationship and he wants to pursue me specifically, then here's my number. I think like an hour later, Omar messaged me, and that's how our love story began. Alrighty. Pisces. This Pisces is a female. She's a friend of my Libra sister-in-law. So the Pisces and the Libra are friends. The Pisces would always come over, and she always had like boy problems. We felt so bad, so we would always like comfort her every time she came over. She was a little bit distant from me, and I noticed that. I just remember like all of us like sitting on the bed. The Pisces is crying so hard, and my sister-in-law is looking at me like, what do? I don't even know the Pisces like that, and what I did was like I sat across from her. I just like put my hand on her shoulder and I said like, it's okay to cry. I didn't know like how she would respond, but I felt like that's what she needed to hear. She stopped crying and she just looked at me, and I thought she was gonna like blow up on me. Like it genuinely, I was like, shit. When she looked back up at me, she said, no one has ever told me that. She's older than I am too, so I'm like, no one has told you that you're allowed to cry? She's like, yeah, all these people are like judging me on my relationship. Everybody would be like, don't cry, like why are you crying over him, this, that. And then I started crying, and then obviously my sister-in-law started crying. It really brought us closer together, my sister-in-law holding both of us. Yeah, we did that for several nights. She would come over, she would cry, and we would be there to hold her and console her through it.
Why would you fall on the floor?
Okay, Scorpio. This Scorpio, she's a female, and we were friends for a very long time, like all throughout middle school and a little bit of high school. We hung out one day. She came over. We went to like the beach. We had like a photo shoot, and she was just so like fun to be around. I was like so closed up. She was like so open. So it was like the total opposite. Of course, when you bring an Aquarius and a Scorpio together, there's gonna be like some sort of like push and pull in order for there to be some sort of comfort. Aquarius has to be a little bit more open with their emotions, especially with a Scorpio. We had like a great day, we hung out, and then it was time for me to like bring her back home. As she was about to leave my car, I saw that she still had my sweater on her, and that was my favorite sweater. And at the time, I would always like wear like the same clothes again. That sweater was everything to me. All I said to her was like, hey, you still have my sweater on. So I had like a feeling that she wanted to keep the sweater. I was like about to tell her like, oh, you can keep it if you want, but then she's like, oh, I can give it back to you. And I was like, yeah. I was like, please give it back to me, like in a panic. Now, years later, looking back on that scenario, I feel like I hurt her, and I wasn't able to explain to her why I wanted that sweater back. This is not the sweater, but it looks similar to this, and it's like a crop top. So as you guys can probably tell, there's one more left, and I already know what it is. Cancer. Okay, so this Cancer is a male. I met him recently on a trip that I went to Dominican Republic with my friends for her bachelorette party, and we met a couple that was on the tour boat, and they were from New Jersey. The female was a Virgo and the male was the Cancer. We just like all got along, and then at one point my best friend was like drunk, so she's like,
Oh, my best friend is an astrologist. She's like, what are your signs?
so the Cancer male, he was like, oh, like tell me what my sign is. You're probably like a homebody. And he was like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, you probably love your mom. You won't let anybody, even her, tell them off. And he was like, yeah. He was like staring at me like shook. I love meeting people and telling them about astrology and having them like ask me more about it. It just makes me really happy. Great experience. And yeah, so I'm really glad that I was able to put out an astrology videos after some time. I do have a list of video ideas that I want to start putting out on here, but of course I want to hear what you guys have to say as well. Also, if you'd like, let me know what video you would like to see next. I hope that you guys have a good day, night, wherever you are in the world. This alien is out, and I will see you guys later.